Hello, lads. John Penn here from CLI TV News. We have a great show for you today. We're meeting some great inventors in everyday life, such as the inventor of telegraph, spinning mill, and the cotton gin. Also, today we have a live field report from Stella Johnson on immigration from European countries to America. We'll also have an editorial from Millie Bays about the first railroads. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have Amanda Wood interviewing Samuel F.B. Morse with his very own invention, the telegraph.
Now we have a famous inventor with us. Most everyone has benefited from his creations, and with that, please give a warm welcome to Samuel F.B. Morse, inventor of the telegraph. How are you today, Samuel?
I'm good, thank you.
So almost everyone has sent a telegraph at one point. Can you tell us about them?
In 1844, I received a patent for my talking wire, now known as a telegraph. The device sends electrical signals along a wire, and there is a system of dots and dashes that is known as Morse code.
This project sounds expensive. How were you able to fund it?
Congress gave me funds to set up my machine in the Supreme Court building, and so I set up a display for the people. The first message I wrote was, "What hath God wrought?" And then, mere seconds later, an operator in Baltimore received the message.
So how are these telegraphs accessible today?
After the telegraph companies sprung everywhere, thousands of millions of wire were put up across the country. Now, news can travel from one side of the country to the other in just a matter of minutes.
I know that this has been such an amazing invention as we were able to communicate with you from states away when we were setting up the interview with you.
Yes, the telegraph has helped many businesses thrive because merchants were able to receive the information quickly and communicate with other sellers and buyers. Because of this, Western farmers are able to learn about things we like, wheat shortages in other states, and they're able to contact us for ships and supplies.
This has been so informative. Thank you for coming to our show today. How nice it is to know that you're only a telegraph away from someone.
Hi, I'm Rod Steele, and if you're like me, you like to hunt. But in the past, traditional methods of hunting just didn't cut the job. They're too inaccurate and too much work. That's why I got myself a brand new American percussion rifle. This thing fits me better than anything else.
Now when I get back and have to cook all my game, I can do it on the top, in a pot, or even over the fire. One of the people I admire most is Susan Blunt. She was one of the first to bring home the cast iron stove in 1838. Many were suspicious in how effective it would be and thought that it was a waste of money. Yet the people that make those claims sure were roasted. Food cooked more efficiently and was burnt less often. Mrs. Blunt also recalled that in a year or two, all the neighbors had one after they saw that we came out all right in the spring. Now back to me. I don't know about you, but Blunt was about the perfect name for someone who was known for blazing it.
And now, that's the regularly scheduled program.
Next, we have Amanda Woods interviewing Elias Howe, the inventor of the sewing machine. Amanda, take it away.
Thank you, John. Now today we have some very interesting guests. As we all know, this has become the era of new technology and inventions, so we have some of the inventors and spokespeople of the most used inventions. One of the inventors is unable to make it to the show today, so his assistant has come instead. And with that, let us welcome Clara Grace. Hello, Clara. Thank you for coming.
Of course, thank you for having me.
So you're the assistant of Elias Howe. Could you tell us more about him and what he did?
Certainly. Mr. Howe created a sewing machine in 1846 and then got his patent on this design. Isaac Singer then expanded on his design and developed his own sewing machine.
Fascinating. So what happened after the machine was invented, and how did it help the everyday family?
Well, clothing makers bought thousands of new machines, and as an effect, workers could make dozens of shirts in the time it took to tailor and sew one by hand. Before, it would take over 14 hours to make one shirt, and now it takes less than 1 hour.
Well, thank you so much. And now our next guest is the creator of one of the great farming inventions, the cotton gin. Please welcome Eli Whitney to the stage.
Inventor of the cotton gin is here. Mr. Whitney, thank you for being here. Amanda, on to you.
So Eli, what can you tell us about your life prior to this invention?
Well, I was a Connecticut school teacher, and I was traveling to be a tutor on a plantation. At the time, there were very few schools in the South, and so I taught as I learned about their struggles. They had a hard time cleaning the cotton since it took so much time, and I decided to create a machine to help them.
So can you describe the contraption to us?
Why, of course. After 10 days of working, I came up with a model. It had an engine, 2 rollers, and wire teeth. and when the cotton was swept through between the rollers, it separated the seeds out. Because of this invention, it took less time, and the planters were able to grow cotton and make a huge profit.
So I hear that there's a funny story about when you were getting your patent. Is that true?
Yes, indeed. Well, Thomas Jefferson was Secretary of State and Inspector of Patents, so when he read my request, he was very interested. We met, and he asked about the invention, including if it had been tested, and the amount of cotton that could be cleaned. He seemed to like my answers, so I got the patent, and we've been productive ever since.
That was a wonderful story. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
I found some live footage of German and Irish immigrants coming to America themselves.
Hey, what's up guys? It's just an Irish immigrant here. Now I'm getting off the boat right here, as you can see, and I'm coming onto the mainland. Now as you can see, here's some wonderful Americans over here. Now they're gonna tell me a bit about what they do in America, and I'll explain, how I came here and what I do as a person. So here we go. Alright, so we realized that we don't have all the equipment that we actually need. We're gonna go to Teacher, look, a friend of mine. He actually has a wig that we're gonna need. We're gonna use that in our video, and hopefully he'll lend it to us. So let's go find out. Okay, so we're gonna go see if he'll let us borrow the wig.
Ah, it's his planning period.
Wait, it's gone.
Oh, the wig's on his desk.
The wig's on his desk.
Wait, he's back here.
Wait. We're making
He's
a
coming out.
video. We're making a video for class, and can we borrow your wig?
What's that?
Can we borrow your wig?
Sure.
Well, thanks for the wig, sir.
You're very welcome, my friend.
All right, let's go film.
Hello, Stella Johnson here. Today we have an immigrant coming from Ireland.
Hello.
Here he is now.
Now, my name is Adam. As you've seen, I am from Ireland. Now, I came here because a lot of our potatoes have been diseased. All our potato crops completely gone. Now, since we're still under British rule, we actually sold a lot of our potatoes to Britain. So all the good ones that weren't diseased, they have that now, and all the poor people of Ireland were left with no potatoes. So that's why I came here. Potatoes, of course, aren't our only source of food. We also have oats and wheat. Now, we ship a lot of that to England as well, and this basically caused a famine in our country, and over 1.5 million people have died because of this.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Is there anything you are looking forward to in America?
Well, I was looking forward to feeding my family now, since there is hardly any good food in Ireland left. Back in Ireland, I actually lost my wife due to starvation. Now, there's been days where we go without food, and it's just really awful back there. I'm looking forward to be able to make enough money to keep a stable life, and I hope that working in the factories isn't as bad as it sounds.
Wow, what an incredible story. Now let's talk to Marie. She came all the way from Germany.
Hello there. So, while I was over in Germany, there was very terrible weather there, and that's causing the food shortage for all our families. Now, since the weather is so poor, we can't grow food, and since there's no food, you know what that would result in. So, a lot of our families are starving, and even beyond the food, there's a lot of stuff that's happening outside of that. And there's wars, our country is revolutionizing, and it's just very not good there. There's a lot of injuries happening, etc. So I came to America to have a better life.
That sounds awful.
It is very awful.
I'm so glad you were able to make it to America, okay? Thank you for coming and talking to me today.
Thank you, and you're very welcome.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again next week for our next report. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Stella, but that's all the time we have for now. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Are you a single woman? Are you looking for a job with long hours and low pay? You can work from 4 a.m. to 7:30 with the Boston Manufacturing Company. Now here, if you hurt yourself, it's your fault. You can learn useful skills like sewing, stitching, and you may even run the equipment. It's fantastic. So come on down to Boston Manufacturing Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. President Martin Van Buren approved a 10-hour workday for government employees. This came because many people were on strike for shorter workdays, higher wages, and better working conditions. More artisans want better pay because they had skills other workers did not. Unfortunately, unskilled workers did not have the same because their jobs did not require much training. If they did this, their employers could easily be replaced. And we're back. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Next up, we have a live editorial from Millie Bates on the first railroads and the railroad boom. These helped and hurt people in many ways. Millie, it's all you. Take it away.
Hi, Millie Bays here. Have you ever wondered why business across America is booming? Well, that is due to plenty of demand and sufficient supply. There is no doubt that America is the most sophisticated it has ever been. But there is one main reason that stands out unlike the rest that is the cause of that. That is the introduction of trains in America. From the early horse-pulled rail carriages to the most modern of steam engines, America would not be in the place it is without the introduction of trains. Now, thanks to trains, shipments all across America are made primarily through rail. Engineer William Strickland was sent to England to study the construction of land navigation. It was there he realized how trains could work in North America. An English locomotive named the Stourbridge Lion was shipped to America in 1828. It was the same year that the construction of the Baltimore and Ohio Railway started. Now in 1830, 14 miles of the B&O Railway was completed. Now it was this year that construction on the Delaware and Hudson track was started. Now once 8 miles of the Delaware and Hudson track was built, the Stourbridge Line was tested there. Now unfortunately, its first trip was its last. The rails there were made of wood and weren't able to support the 7-ton weight of the locomotive. Now, although this was a downfall, this was not the end of rails in America. People thought that constructing rails was a disastrous way to waste money. They thought that mounting things on rail and limiting where they can go was just no point. There were already places set that worked just as well as rails did back then. Horse and carriage was still the preferred mode of transport, and others saw plenty of great uses for the steam motor. Though they weren't wrong, they would soon learn that rail was much more ideal than it appeared. They redesigned the entire track so that iron would now rest on wooden ties. Soon, rail dropped the cost of shipping by carriage 60 to 70%. Now, this opened up a multitude of new ways to ship imports across America, and it definitely increased trade throughout different colonies and cities, one alike. New companies are being created, like the South Carolina Canal and Railroad. This new company is aiming at connecting the major port city of Charleston to inland regions of the Palmetto State. There is a great solution to nearly all the problems the public is stressing about. Shipment by rail greatly reduces cost and opens up new doors for travel. Public transport is a market that hasn't seen much activity in America, and I can see steam travel fulfilling that need nicely. Not only will it connect communities in under half the time, but it will also encourage trade between cities rather than between countries. There is no doubt that American railways have a bright future.
Thank you, Millie, but unfortunately that's all the time we have today, folks. To all the viewers out there, stay classy and join us next time on CLI TV News.